So let me start with a picture. It's a wedding, your daughter's wedding. The music starts, everyone turns to watch her walk in, and there's one empty chair, front row, still reserved, and everybody in that room knows whose chair it was. I don't show you that to scare you. I show you that because if you're here, some part of you has already seen that chair. Maybe at 3 in the morning, heart pounding, head pounding, when you'd already typed your numbers into Google and read the very worst thing on the page. So before I say anything else, hear me. That empty chair is not your future. And not because of a pill, because of something almost no one in a 7-minute appointment has time to explain to you. So in the next 20 minutes or so, I'm going to explain that thing. My name is Joel. I'm a registered nurse, 20 years, most of them in the ER and ICU, which means I've stood at the bedside of a whole lot of people who have ended up there because of the exact numbers that you are watching climb right now. I'm not a guru. I'm the nurse who got tired of watching people get handed a prescription and sent home with no plan for the thing underneath it. So I built the plan. So here's my promise for the next few minutes. I'm going to show you the three things that actually drive your blood pressure and why. And when you work them in the right order, your numbers can start moving the right way with your doctor right there in your corner. So, because here's what's really on the table. It was never the number. It's the moments, the wedding, the grandbabies who are little right now. Every year you spend just managing this instead of working the cause is a year that you spend bracing for the next scare instead of living it. I've watched families learn that the hard way, and you don't have to. So let's talk about what's actually happening. When your doctor sees a high number, they reach for the one tool a 7-minute visit allows, the prescription pad. Now, hear me clearly. I'm not anti-medication. For some of you, medication is the exact right thing that you need to be on right now, and nothing I teach ever replaces your doctor. But a pill only treats the number. It doesn't touch the reason the number is high. And there's always a reason, there's always a cause. Your blood pressure is not a pill deficiency, it's a signal. It's your body pointing at three corners, and I call them the blood pressure triangle, which is stress, sugar, and sodium. So it's pointing to one of those three. It's not bad luck. It's one of those three. It's not just age. It's one of those three. Here's why this matters so much. When you medicate the number, but never work the corners keep pushing. So the dose creeps up and up and up, and you feel like you're declining faster and faster. But when you work the corners, the numbers finally have a reason to come down. And this isn't fringe, woo-woo, just naturopathic medicine. Researchers have observed this again and again, that lifestyle change supports blood pressure. It's not just something anybody can bill for in 7 minutes. So, number two, that was number one. That is not the pill, it's the triangle. And number two, your body isn't broken, it's running a pattern. So now the voice in your head is probably saying, oh, that's fine, Joel, but you don't know my body. It's genetic. My mother had it. I did everything right, and it still happened to me. I hear that all the time. So let me tell you what 20 years taught me. Your body is not broken. It's running a pattern. And there are really only about 5 of them. One woman's pressure is driven mostly by stress, cortisol. Another woman tends to be blood sugar. Another's thyroid is running quietly in the background. Same number on the cuff, but completely different corners pushing the results. That is why generic advice keeps failing you. Just eat less salt, they say. That's useless if salt or sodium is not your corner. The reason nothing has worked isn't that you're too far gone. It's that nobody ever told you which corner is yours. And your genes, genetics only writes the recipe, but lifestyle bakes the cake. Your genes may have loaded a tendency. Your corners decide whether that tendency fires or not. So you have far more to say in this than anyone ever gave you permission to say. We have so many stories in our coaching group about the results of making just simple changes in lifestyle. So many stories. I'm not promising you the exact results of these stories, but I promise you that something will change when you begin changing simple sources of these pressure problems in this triangle. Number 3, you don't need willpower to make these changes. You need a sequence. Okay, so the last belief, and it's the sneaky one, even if you believed the method works, and even if it could work for you, there's a quieter voice that says, I don't have the time. I don't have the willpower. I've started things before and quit. My family isn't going to change how they eat for me. Let me take those right off the table. This does not run on willpower. Willpower is the first thing to vanish when you're scared and you're tired. It runs on sequence and support. You work one corner at a time in order, so you're never overwhelmed and never guessing. You don't need a perfect life, a perfect family, or 3 free hours a day. You just need the right first step and someone walking next to you when the motivation dips. Because it will dip for everyone, and that's exactly the moment most people quit, when they're alone. But you won't be. So let's put this together. Your pressure isn't a pill problem, it's a triangle problem. And it's not too late for you. You just never knew your corner. And it doesn't take a perfect life. It takes the right order and the right people. Now, picture that same wedding again, same music, same daughter walking in. And this time you're in the front row because you did the work. Your numbers went the right way. And your family finally stopped holding their breath. That's what we're really talking about. So here's the honest truth. You can take everything I just taught you and start on your own. Some of you will, and I will genuinely cheer you on. But if you're like most of the women that I talk to, you don't want to guess which corner is yours. You don't want to stitch together a plan from YouTube and hope that you won't quit. You want the plan, you want the order, and you want a nurse in your corner. So let me show you exactly what I built. It's called Be There. Be There. I need women that are willing to do the work, willing to go through the 12 weeks and are motivated to be there, motivated to be somewhere for themselves, for their family, for their future. So bpquiz.com/coaching to get the application. Let me leave you with this, though. Logically, you already know the pill alone was never a plan. And now you finally have a plan. This is the smart choice, but this was never really about logic. It's about a chair. There's a version of the next 10 years where you spend them bracing, managing, Googling, waiting for the next scare. And I don't want to minimize what happens when blood pressure, blood sugar, obesity continue to become more and more of a problem. I've been at too many bedsides to soften that blow of stroke, of heart attack, of all of the problems, amputations that occur when these illnesses are not stopped in their tracks. What is that worth to you to have that problem gone? And what is that worth when you do not take advantage of the opportunity to get rid of these problems permanently? There's a version of you where you spend them in that front row because you decided today that the empty chair was not going to be yours. You're not a statistic. You're not your mother's diagnosis. You are the woman who is going to be there for the wedding, for the grandbabies, for all of it. Grab your seat. I'll see you on the inside. Remember, genetics writes the recipe, but lifestyle bakes the cake. My name's Joel. Be your own doctor.